Okay, guys, there is next level weirdness going on. I went to fire up the stream, and I had a video playing in the background. I'm not sure how that happened. It came through just randomly on one of the things I had set up here. What the? Hey, Garrett, good to see you, pal. And Wolverine's here, Prasanna, Jeff, Oink, Fudge Nugget, Schnitzel, Gone, Cody, Aditya. I'm having, and now I noticed too. Look, guys are okay. It's still working, but the format of our text box here on Streamlabs is entirely different. We still got our stream boss. That's Dylan. Oh, Mike, no. Yeah, we're having a mic issue. I forgot to bring it over. I got so fascinated by all the things that were cuz that now I keep a on Streamlabs you can have different presets for your streams. So this preset is the one I use for most of our just chatting videos if I'm not playing a game, and it includes everything I need to do the video clip streams. But the widget I use for the video clip streams just randomly started playing videos for me. And I couldn't get him to stop. I had to just turn it off. What the hell? 16 Susan must be sleeping. Sticky sausage. Yeah. Hey, Moneymore. It's been weird. And then it didn't start. It didn't start quite on time. This fly is still flying around here. It'll come in front of the camera at some point. This big ass fly, as I'm trying to figure out what's going on, landed right here. Gave me a third eye. It's alive. It was. The whole thing is weird. But look at this. Our whole frame is gone. Remember that, guys? We had the whole frame in here and everything that said Spaz Boys. Everything's gone. Hold on, let me look and see if it's still in here, if it's turned off. Okay, Goosh Goosh is there, but was turned off. We don't need that if we don't have the frame. What the hell is going on? Okay, that's nothing normal. I have no idea what happened, guys. This is really weird. I'm going to have to go through. Okay, so let me get rid of... I apologize for this. I have no... What is that? Let's get rid of it. This is just weird. I got all kinds of labels in here that I never put in. Don't know what the hell that one's there for. Wow. Such is life. Yeah, like this is weird. Like I say, you guys know when we usually have that I had that little framework. I'm gonna have to rebuild the whole thing. I mean, we won't do it right now. I'll do it before the next stream. We can certainly stream this way. This is really weird. Okay, that one. Okay, that's our goose thing. That one was turned off. Now our media share. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. Who cares? I'll work on that later. Right now I just want to chat with you guys. Because as I mentioned in the title, unfortunately I don't have a ton of time. You guys know how horrific my memory is. I completely forgot my wife and daughter are going on an overnight outing. So she left the house and I got several things I got to do, but I have to make sure I do things while we still have staff in here for Nene, for my stepdaughter. So and it's all down in Albany, which is a 45-minute one-way trip for me. So I don't have much time to stream. But it's my own fault. Because I don't pay attention. Prasanna says job hunting sucks. Oh, that's something I don't miss, Prasanna. I was, early on in my working life, of course, you're going from job to job, trying to improve your status, improve what you're making, so on and so forth. And I don't miss that at all. I'm with you. Just tagged everyone in the mod server. Well, thanks, Wolverine. Yeah, it is early though too. We're streaming early, so some people may just not be around. Again, I didn't have a choice. I don't want to miss a free for all Friday, and this is the only time I had. Hey, Masag. Ashley says you're going to continue your DBZA rewatch. I loved your reaction to the original. Probably not, actually, just because there wasn't a lot of interest in it. I gauge things because I have a lot of different things I enjoy doing at the channel. So what stays, I gauge by what you guys are watching. And on those, I thought it would be fun to rewatch. The views weren't super high, but even more importantly, the watch time on them was low. People just weren't into it. Mistress Susan graces us with a notification. It might have been a mistake, Lou, though. She might not have meant to. Fuck off, train. Sticky Sauce says you dare have life outside of fans, not true YouTuber. Sadly, a slightly edited comment people make. And you're right, Sticky Sauce, because I've seen that type of thing. I will say this. We've done, I believe, a remarkable job here for whatever reasons, we have a very low percentage of douchebags that come around through here. I don't know if because we've been around a long time and, well, we've got you guys, plus, a lot of folks who couldn't be in here today, but we have a really good, strong core community here. So that helps because I think people are less likely that they're just random run-of-the-mill idiots are less likely to want to come in and spread their douchebaggery in a community that is very cohesive together. And it's just going, because people that do that are typically, and I don't say it to be mean, it's true, they're typically losers. So they don't want to go a place where they know they're just going to get it pointed out to them again by the whole group that they are indeed losers. So I think that's part of it. A part of it could be my reactions too. You guys know I kind of enjoy getting those types of things once in a while. And I think I'm really, really good at getting to the core of ripping into someone. And we've had a few people leave because of that. But I don't know. What about Barry says we intimidate people with our sticky stuff. I'm afraid we might attract the wrong type of... Because sticky stuff is so universal, Barry's. I mean, it's going to attract the right people, but by that same token, it's so irresistible. It seems like it might attract some of the wrong people by accident. We're a bit too harsh for them. Yeah, I think so, Lude. I think so. And again, I have no issue with that because, as I've always said, particularly when people are looking for attention, it's because of my age. I've got that whole grand paternal type of thing. To this day, I get lots of people, and I don't mind it at all, coming to me in private messages, even in comments, asking for advice on this, that, or the other. Because a lot of people just don't, for whatever reason, don't have a male role model in their lives. And I'll spend all day, I have spent literally almost all day sometimes talking to people and giving whatever advice, whatever answers I'm capable of. So I don't have any respect for people who need to go about getting their attention by being an asshole. If your life has gotten so bad that you want to reach out to somebody and you do it by coming in and being rude, insulting, and disrespectful, I don't care that I'm mean to you in return. Because fortunately, the majority of people who feel like they need to reach out, judging by our crew here, can do it like normal human beings. The definition of the right people to you? In what way did I say that, Aziri? I don't know how to answer because I don't know that we have right or wrong people. The only definition I would have of right people is what I just described. People who have a little bit of courtesy and respect. And that doesn't mean, because you guys have all seen it, doesn't mean you have to agree with me on everything by any stretch. I like when we have some good debates here. It just means you conduct yourself like somebody who wants to be part of a community, of a family. That's all. That's the only thing I would classify as right people. Jared says, hey, Curtis, I've been looking into real estate here in Montana to start a business. I currently live here, but the real estate market is insane right now. I was just going to say, Jared, just my opinion. Please understand it's just my opinion, just because I could be wrong. I wouldn't do it right now because I think you're going to see the entire housing market take a steep decline. I think in a few months you'll make a purchase a lot cheaper. In your opinion, should I roll the dice and try to find something next year, or just wait for a few years for the inevitable housing crash? Oh, I don't think it's going to take a few years, pal. I don't think you're going to be waiting a few years. Again, strictly my opinion, Jared. But I I think by spring of 2022, if not entirely crash, I think you'll see the housing market on a steep downturn. That's just my opinion, just from the amount that I follow such things. You guys know I'm into that to a degree, and anything economy related, politically related, I follow it. And I think you're going to see a major downturn, and I don't think it's going to be all that long. Joshua says, sorry to pivot. No problem. Just jumped in. This is Free for All Friday. Anything goes. Have to ask, please finish New Vegas or start and finish Fallout 4 DLC. So fucking entertaining. Well, the only thing is, Joshua, I haven't, because of the way I've got things scheduled, obviously, you see I haven't been gaming very much. Before I move on to anything else, though, I really am infatuated with Resident Evil Village. Especially now that the big-breasted woman and her minions hung me up by the hands on hooks. That was rude. And I owe them one. But I do want to finish that. I can't make any promises on what will be next, because I honestly don't know. But when I do pick another one, you guys, I'll be coming to you guys for your opinions if you want to finish something we had started earlier or start something new. Ashley says, oh, hey, Curtis, if you like any rhythm games, have you tried Friday Night Funkin'? I haven't heard of that. There's that fly. I'm going to get you. It's a new rhythm game that has spiked in popularity. If you get popularity enough, you could spike and get a mod of yourself. Really? No, I've never heard of that one, Ashley. I don't have anything against rhythm games. It's not something I played a lot of, but any game, just like entertainment, whether it's anime, movies, or whatever, any genre is cool with me. If it's fun, I'll play. Prasanna says, well, people here don't sugarcoat their thoughts. That's a good thing. Yep. And everyone here knows how to take a joke. The realness really deters D-bags. I agree with you, Prasanna. I think so. When people see that there's no hypersensitivity here, they also get more timid about trying to take on the group, because people here, and again, I don't think the people here are callous in any way. We don't have an overly sensitive group. We have people that can take a joke, even if it's about themselves. And we have a lot, we all know my sense of humor is twisted as hell. And so it's not a far, it's not a great leap of faith to figure that the people that are regulars here in our community would be the same way. Last post is, Susan shows the bad word in it. So you want me to go to last post, Barry? So hold on, let me see. Oh, here goes. Good news. I applied for a new job today. It's administering COVID tests. $30 an hour. Nice. With full medical? Might be dangerous with new variants, but I catch at least have the medical benefits. Yeah, and the thing is too, Barry, I'm sure if you're doing that, I'm assuming they're going to make sure that you're vaccinated. And we know the numbers. I mean, there's always a risk. But we know the numbers. If you are vaccinated and you get it, the odds are insanely in your favor of not getting super sick. So that's a nice chunk. $30 an hour. Ooh, nice take. Alvin says, and then Jen Psaki ate the fly. Good old Jen. It's funny how both these administrations, the last two, Trump's and Biden's, puts their spokespeople in such awkward, horrible positions because of the dumb shit they do. Misag says, people getting more offended in West. That's my assumption. While here, people getting more into trolling and meme stuff. Oh, yeah, the West is big on offense. Misag, not here. You won't see it much in this community. But in general, yeah. Oh, yeah. Being offended is a badge of honor in a lot of communities here. It really is. You see it all the time. All you have to do is fire up Twitter and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But there is a literal badge of honor. There is merit in those echo chambers if you can come up with a reason to be offended. No question about it. I still haven't seen that, Spaz, I really want to. He says, last week I rewatched The Suicide Squad again, but in theaters it was even better. It went from A to A plus. Perfect theater movie. Recommend watching in theaters over HBO Max. God damn it. And now I don't really want to watch it until Spaz Kid comes back, because him and I wanted to watch it together. And we were going to do it before he went back to school. And it's just, you guys know how things go. You plan on it one day and you get doing something else, or something else comes up. And we just never got to it before he went back. I really want to see that. Everybody's saying how good it is. Quest Guy says Curtis 2024 canceled and trains take over as fly VPs. Oh, is it Wolverine? I didn't know that. Skyrim is getting an anniversary release, 11/11/21. That's a great game. I always like Skyrim, and you guys know, I didn't play it as much as I watched Spaz Kid play it, and it was such a good time just watching him. Krusty Bomb says, not gonna lie, I still don't get why being offended is considered a good thing in the West. It's boring, overdone, and the emotions behind it are fake. I agree with you. And the thing of it is, what always got me, Krusty, and I'm sure most of you guys agree with me, I'm not above being offended. I can see something that's offensive. It's just that I've never been motivated in any way, shape, or form to do anything but avoid what offends me. You know, if I see something, experience something that's offensive, I just don't have any need to go online and try and convince everybody else to boycott them, to not be a part of it, to not partake. What do I care? If it offends me, I won't watch it anymore. I won't experience it anymore. Seems pretty simple. But again, it's a lot of it is, I honestly believe that when you really, you see these people that are perpetually offended and looking for community points for being offended and getting them, when you read more about them, if you go back through their other, say it's on Twitter, go back through the other tweets and stuff like that, it does seem like it's just a lot of people that have nothing going on. And they're kind of sad in a way. I think they can't effectively manage their day-to-day lives in the real world. You know, they're not good at real interpersonal relationships, or they're just obnoxious people and can't make friends. And this seems to be where they gravitate, because it's, you know, if I can find something that's offensive, I can go into this community and I can talk about it, and people will praise me because they hadn't thought about how offensive that is prior. And it's kind of pathetic. Masag says, yeah, even Rock is a white supremacist, apparently. Oh, no, did they come after him, Masag? I did not even see that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jack says, I can offend Curtis. Anime titties are juvenile and pointless. They are not pointless. Nami's titties are perfect points. Oh, you mean pointless? Oh, shit. Can I ban mods? It would be funny if Jack, it'd be funny if you mods had found a way to game the system where you are now omnipotent and you guys could get rid of me, but I can't get rid of you. I don't even know why that struck me. I would just think that would be a great anime plot twist. Tori said at Jack Queen, you monster. Correct. Well done, Milag. Offensive? That song Diamonds by Rihanna offends me. They don't shine, they reflect. Got a point. At least Google this stuff before you make a song about it. Yeah, if your song's going to be full of factual inaccuracies, get bent. Code said, never watched any superhero movies post Endgame because Hollywood is super woke now, but the Eternals trailer is super good. I might actually give it a chance. Somebody else was talking about that. I haven't seen it yet, the trailer. Celestials are one of my favorite in MCU. I'll have to watch that trailer. Wolverine says, offensive? Shao Tucker did nothing wrong. Yeah, I've always said that, though, about Shao Tucker. Fuck off, Train. And I think you guys will agree. It's so unusual for the larger anime community to come to agreement on anything. And the one thing I've seen where you hardly ever see anybody veer from the same way of thinking is that Shao Tucker is an absolute piece of shit. Oh, I thought you were talking about the rock. Okay, Sticky Sauce says look up racist rock. They legit removed a boulder for being racist. Okay, hold on, guys. I actually have to do that. I don't know why I do that because it's just going to piss me off, but I gotta. Racist rock. Rock removed from University of Wisconsin. Oh, geez. So you gotta be. What was racist about it? I gotta read this. A 70-ton boulder. Jesus Christ. Named after geologist and former university president Thomas Crowder Chamberlain. Oh, excuse me. Was referred to. The term N-word head was commonly used in that era to describe any large rock. Saying it represents the campus's racist past. because some idiots decades and decades ago used horrific language to describe something that went on all the time. Okay, that made you feel better. Whoo, that rock is gone. Whoo, racism has been dealt with. But this is why people get so easily offended, because other people pay attention to it and remove 70-ton boulders because of how people referred to that boulder 80, 90 years ago. Okay, have a good time. Jesus Christ. Downward says also, who wants to give me a birthday, BJ? Also, king me. Oh yeah, you're a king now. You are stream boss, Downward, and happy birthday, pal. Very cool. ILMAO says shirtless thumbnail free for all Friday. LOL, really testing YouTube today, considering they slapped your wrist for being too sexy. Yeah, I've gotten to where I'll tell you, I've told the gang this hit all the time. Our free for all Fridays are my line in the sand. As far as if the things we talk about, the things we do in here, the jokes we tell, whatever the case may be, if that becomes too offensive to where YouTube's gonna kick me, I'm not bowing to that. Then they would have to kick me, because I love this too much. YouTube isn't of value to me if I can't do this. Excuse me. Oink says, I think it matters a lot where the joke is coming from. I'm fine with gay jokes from my friends, but the exact same joke might upset me if I think the joke teller actually dislikes me for being gay. Well, I think that's more than a humor thing, Oink. I think that's just a person thing. In other words, because basically what you're saying is, and I would agree with, you find people who want to demean homosexuals to be offensive, and that's understandable. And I know what you're saying, but like I say, I think that's much broader than just a joke. Then we're talking about a specific individual. Wouldn't have to be joking. In that case, it could just be normal conversation. You're going to find out that they're a piece of shit. Hey, Demi, good to see you, pal. Hey, Curtis, I'm back. My COVID got worse. Oh, shit. And shot my lungs, but I'm good now. Just recovering from the pneumonia. It's good to be back. Jeez, pal, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow, I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh, shit. I hope everything goes well. I hope you don't have any long-lasting repercussions from it. Jeez, that sucks. Excuse me. If Twitter activists want to fight rocks, Sticky Sauce says, let them do so. I'd love to see Twitter activists headbutting rocks and stuff. Not like they have brain damage. Yeah, and again, it's not that I'm not empathetic. I just don't think that empathy is really something required, because some idiots 90 years ago used to use racist terminology. They were idiots. But I mean, I just find it hard to believe that any normal functioning person, a person of color, would walk by that rock, even if they knew its history, and be offended by it. I'm sorry. Unless you're looking to be offended, I don't think anyone would be. You know, they might think, oh, hillbilly idiots. You know what they used to refer to these rocks as? Now, if they had that word inscribed on the rock or something, I would say, oh, absolutely, get the fuck out of there. People shouldn't have to read that. But when you have to dig in to know the history of a term they use to describe such things, and then that's offensive, I just think you're kind of a pussy. I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder down where it says. Like I say, if they want to move it, it's no skin off my nose. Go ahead and move it. I just think being offended over it just means you're way, way, way too easily offended. Exactly, Big Green. Just don't refer to the rock as the word they use for it. You don't have to remove the rock. That's where I'm at. Like I said, now if somebody had scrawled it on there, I would say, okay, either chip that shit out or just get the rock out of there. Because you know how people are. If people are going to come back and keep putting it back in there or something, I'd say, okay, I get it. If you're going to have assholes hitting it with graffiti using that term or something, which could happen, then I'd say just take it out of there. But when you have to know the entire history of it and know that was there were a lot of terms that were acceptable back then that were very vile. I mean, there were plenty of them that were directed at Irish people. They called them terriers. They called them a lot of other things that were not meant to be complimentary. People were dicks. But again, removing the rock because of how somebody 90 years ago referred to that rock, you're overly sensitive. Sticky Sauce makes a good point. Also, that rock existed before humans even evolved, so calling it racist is idiotic beyond reason. Right. The rock is not racist. And you removing it did not remove anything of those racists of the past. Special Olympics says because of the YouTube situation? Does this mean you can post a reaction to Space Jam season? No, ours is still removed. I have a warning against the channel still because of having posted that video. I don't know of anything that's changed. They were going after Irish. Oh, Masag. Irish used to be terribly beaten down here, Irish immigrants. Yeah, especially back in the days of building the railroads and everything. Yeah, they were. If you look into American history, they were in some cases literal and in other cases damn near slaves themselves. Poe says, hey Curtis, is it just me or is Japanese entertainment like anime better than Western tunes now? For me, yes, I like anime better. And to be honest with you, I typically like Western cartoons. Yes, Italians as well, Poe. Yep, we're very much discriminated against. I tend to like, outside of sports, my Notre Dame games, things like that, I prefer cartoons over the live action stuff we get here. It's just not that good, I don't think. And I think anime rules over all of it by a significant amount, too. It's not even close for me. Spez says The Rock versus John Cena, which is better? I'd pick John Cena. I like both guys. I think both guys, both guys brought a lot to the business. I like both of them. Let's see. Misag says another reason to hate America. How can you go after one of the base people of the world? Well, I don't know if it's a reason to hate America. I don't think there's much of that sentiment in America currently. But you're right. It was just. But if you look around too, though, Misag, in those eras, pretty much every nation in the world had some group or groups that was looked down upon and treated like shit. It's just the way of the world at the time, unfortunately. Yeah, Downward says anime is king in the entertainment realm for me. Yeah, me too, pal. Jack Queen says, fuck America. How did I know that was coming, Jack? So Hara says, people hated us Irish, but that's sad. I mean, we're too drunk to understand their hate anyways. Well played. Yeah, but again, if you go back in that era, I haven't seen Philip. Philip would be able to tell us specifics because he's very much into history. But you look throughout the world, and that's been the unfortunate case for many generations, is an individual group or groups get singled out to be the ones that get the shit. Barry says, Uncle Curtis, how do you deal with death? Serious question. I'm still in denial about my mom dying and always expect when I go downstairs she's going to be sitting in her chair, but she's not. That's tough. How do I personally deal with it? My age, of course, I've seen a lot of death of the generation older than me. I don't know if it works for everybody. For me, it was always a case of trying to understand what the person who passed would want for me. You know, whether it was my dad, my wife's Uncle Phil, who I was close with, my best friend, Tom. As much as their deaths make me sad, each one of those people would not feel that they were being memorialized in a way they would want if I allowed it to affect my life negatively. None of them, because of how close they were with me, would want me to do anything but have happy days. That's the way I look at it. So, in all honesty, to honor the people like that I've lost, I try and live my best life, because that's what my dad, that's what my friend Tom, that's what all of them would have wanted for me, is me to have a good time. It's the same as if the situation were reversed. If I had gone first, the last thing I want, hey, if I drop dead in the next couple minutes in the share, which is possible, I would appreciate the fact that I think some of you would be affected by it emotionally. But the last thing I would want is anybody to have any lasting grief over it. I want everybody to just, especially you guys who are close to me, go out and live your best life. Have a good time. Just remember all the stupid shit we did. Don't dwell on the fact that we can't do it anymore. But that's how I always looked at it anyway. Mr. Croissant says college classes haven't even started, and I'm about $3,000 in debt because I got a rip-off scholarship. Oh, shit. The American University system, how inflexible. The saddest thing about that, Mr. Croissant, is this college debt is rampant because of something that was well-intentioned. I mean, the idea was to make it easy for students to get loans so that everybody that wanted an education could get one, and we didn't factor in basic greed that the universities would take advantage of that and just run costs up exponentially. But greed should always be a factor, I guess, in any decision, because, the greed is going to exist. Zeno says, "Hello, Weave. Hey, pal." Willie says, "Glad you enjoyed my G100. Willie, that was amazing. That was, you were right. You called it. It was absolutely fascinating and intriguing to watch, and pisses you right off. That nurse bitch, what the fuck? She got a slap on the wrist. She should, I don't think somebody in that situation should ever be out and about amidst the general public anymore. She should be incarcerated forever. And she got jack shit. That was brutal. It was fascinating to learn, though. Mr. Tester says, most American people that I know tell me it's not the greatest place to live, even though they're supposed to. Would you say the same? In EU, there isn't college debt. You don't pay for school. Well, you do, because I've had this explained to me by people in the EU, Mr. Tester. You don't pay for it up front. But I'm trying to remember what, and Jack's here. I know some of our EU people are here, or our UK people are here too, because UK, now Britain in the EU. But anyway, you guys do. You just pay for it. You don't pay for it as an over-the-counter exchange. You pay for it. Isn't it VATs? I'm trying to remember what everybody told me. That there are taxes that are put in place specifically for that, because you have to pay for it somehow. It's just like healthcare. College or healthcare, you have buildings to maintain, you have professors to pay. In healthcare, you have hospitals to maintain, doctors and staff up and down the line to pay. You're paying for it. It's just a matter of how you go about it. But as far as in America, no, I'm perfectly happy living in America. Does everything that America does agree with me? Of course not. But I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I would love to visit other places, but I'm perfectly happy living here. I like our capitalist system. I don't like how it's been corrupted. I think the system is set up to work really well, but when you have a government that refuses to commit to its obligations within that system that we have, that's how it gets screwed. It's a 2% tax. Is that what it is, Jack? Okay, thank you. So you do pay for it. You just don't pay for it in the traditional sense. I imagine you're angered by Afghanistan situation. Yeah, Solaris, I mean, it was just handled horribly. Whether or not you believe we should be out of Afghanistan is a separate conversation to have. The one thing that's undeniable was they fucked up the execution of taking the military out of there. And then you hear the things coming from Afghani people, like the thing I read by that Afghani fighter pilot and that young guy who was a One Piece fan. That was heart-wrenching. It was completely blown. They completely fucked up the extraction of the troops. And the thing is, when you're making a plan like that, I don't care who's in charge. I don't care what party they're from. Excuse me. You have to commit to the plan that is based on the worst case scenario, not best. They should have had, and I'm sure he did, Biden should have had presented to him, okay, when we pull the troops out, here's the worst thing that can happen. And that should have been that the Taliban just runs roughshod and takes over in days. So everything from that point on, the plan should have been made with that in mind, and they didn't. They made their plans in mind thinking, he basically admitted it by saying, we didn't think it would happen that fast. It doesn't matter if you think it would. If the possibility was there, that's what you have to strategize around. The worst case scenario. They fucked it up bad. Our troops get free health care? Explain that. It's simple to explain. They're working for the government. It's part of the perk of the job. I get free health care. I don't work for the government. It was part of my job. That's a simple one. That's part of the perk of the job. I don't know why you thought that would be difficult to explain. I worked at my job in a municipality for 25 years, and part of my retirement, one of the reasons I stayed there and did that job was when I retire, my health care is maintained. I continue to get my health care. It's not complicated. Health care is part of the perks of the job of being a soldier in the military, just like healthcare is the perks of many, many jobs in the free market society. Not hard to explain for you. But Curtis, they were prepared for every eventuality. Yeah, Irene, didn't you like that? And that's what I told you guys. That's what pisses me off more than anything else. Just take responsibility. I think people are much more understanding when you admit that you screwed up and that you're trying to fix it than they are when you denied that you screwed up in anything. You know what I liken it to is the whole steroid era in baseball. If you look at it, when Barry Bonds is brought up, his name is brought up, people will react with vitriol. People who are pissed off that he broke the records he did, taking juice, blah, 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 and they don't want him in the Hall of Fame. Nobody talks about Mark McGwire anymore. Mark McGwire was a big slugger of that era too. And I say the difference is because Mark McGwire came forward and said, yeah, I did it, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. I did it. I wanted to hit 70 home runs in a season, so I took juice, and I'm sorry. And Barry Bonds, even though his head seems to have grown about 3 hat sizes from 25 to 35, still denies that he took anything. And I believe that's why there's so much vitriol aimed towards him and not to Mark McGwire, Alex Rodriguez, guys who admitted that they did it. In terms of anime, Alex says, who would you say is sexier? Shannara? Nami? Or who's Shannara? I'm not sure who that one is. Nami over Faye Valentine. I like Faye Valentine, but Nami over Faye Valentine. Jack says, bring back the juice. It was way more entertaining. You know what, Jack? That's what always got me. Remember when they came down on Vince McMahon to clean up the steroids out of wrestling? Why? Who gives a fuck? I know, because they're illegal, so they have that angle. But the thing of it is, wrestling isn't a competition. Nobody's getting a leg up on the other. They're just doing it for the appearances of it. That was a whole governmental thing, too. Just, if you get on the wrong side of somebody, we'll come get you. Who the fuck cares if pro wrestlers are taking juice? I know, I never took any. And I know I don't care. I wrestled tons of guys that took juice. I didn't care they were juicing. All I care is they can work a safe match. What do I care? If their thing was that they had to be a big truck-like body and they needed juice to do it, have a good time. Mr. Croissant says, I cried when I learned more about the potato famine. They sugar-coated so much about it in high school that it was sickening. I wish history wasn't sugar-coated. Yeah, good point, Mr. Croissant. History is sugar-coated regularly. Yeah, I agree. It was. Dimmy says the steroid use in wrestling was crazy. Guys were huge back then. Yeah. Well, look at Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior. When the steroid thing came, remember, and everybody had to play it cool with the juice. Remember how he started coming out in that bodysuit and everything because he wasn't able to juice? Because Jim Hellwig, when he's not on the juice, is not a big dude. He's not a big framed, thick guy. It looked ridiculous. Code says our education really need a reform, a good reform. I agree with that. We need to teach our youth more lessons that can help them in real life and get rid of those useless courses. Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't understand why we don't have courses on just what you said about, about taking out loans. Have a course about economics, credit cards, paying your rent, taking out loans, what's involved in it. Specifically, courses about how to make smart buying decisions when you're picking a college. Absolutely. Absolutely. He did. Big Green says he looked so fucking stupid in that suit. He did. But he was so embarrassed because he couldn't take the juice. He says, I think all sports should be unisex and all steroids should be allowed. Let's see how far we can go. Well, I think there was, I don't know if you guys remember it. You're way too young to have seen it originally, but you might have seen it in replay. Years ago, Saturday Night Live, back in the day when it used to be funny, back in the 70s, they did a report on one of the news segments of the all-steroid Olympics. That was hilarious. I still remember. I don't remember which cast member it was. If it was Belushi or who. But they had a weightlifter going out there to lift, several hundred tons or something like that. He goes, "Ah!" And his arms come off. And the announcers were great. They're like, "Oh, his arms came off. Yee, that's gonna hurt in the morning." Yeah, that was really funny. That was a great bit. I agree with that, Jack. He says, I'm actually still doing that life skills, calling it the real life project. I am a huge supporter of that concept. There are so many required classes that the vast majority of your students are never going to use that knowledge. And the thing is, you don't have to get rid of those classes. Just make them electives. That's all. Jared said, what's your opinion on homeschooling? Whatever works for somebody. There's been a lot of homeschool kids that are like, I was going to say not borderline, literal geniuses and stuff. So whatever works for an individual, whatever it takes to get somebody to learn. I'm not one to throw stones at whatever method you need or is best for you to learn. Nolan says, but Curtis, when will I ever need to make my own doctor's appointment and apply for jobs? It's much more important for school to teach me how to calculate the angles of a triangle and do long division. I'm with you, Nolan. I've been saying that for years. It frustrates the shit out of me with Brax when he came through high school. Seeing he's fortunate. Not everybody can have involved parents. He had parents that were teaching him all this stuff. I told him, because I'm paying for I've got loans out for the majority of his college education. And I told him, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to pay for your education if you go out and you make a smart choice. If you want to get a degree in women's studies, you can pay for that shit yourself. Simply because it doesn't have value. But I said, you pick a major where you have a decent, job perspective. Pick a school that teaches that major without worrying about the name of the school and the prestige. Let's just get to the education. And he did all that. But he's a very grounded kid. He's very, very smart with that stuff. Mr. Croissant says, that Gen Z feminists is trying to cancel the military draft as well as our military in general. They don't like the idea that women are being pushed to participate in the draft. Well, but prior, what they have to realize is there was a lot of outcry from women's groups that women were being discriminated against because they weren't eligible for the draft. So, yeah. Solaris says, I'm not even kidding. I'm 18, so I'm still in college, but I do not know how to do taxes because math didn't teach me. Yep. That should have been the main lessons. I agree with you. There he is. Find your fucking fly. The trains aren't enough. No, I agree with you. Again, and just giving you guys a heads up on what you're going to be facing. Again, what does it mean when I take out a credit card? What exactly am I paying back? What do I look for when I want to go buy my first car and the financing? And how do I finance a home? How do I pay taxes? And none of that is covered. And that's the real life stuff that everybody's got to know. Philip says the problem is that some schools offer those kind of courses, but they're outside of the actual curriculum after school stuff. Nobody's going to commit to extra classes. I agree 100%, Philip. That's why I say I would like to see a lot of the required courses in advanced mathematics and things like that. They should be the ones that you can pursue if you're going that route, and make the life skills classes a part of the required curriculum. That's my opinion. Henry says, hey, Curtis, what are your thoughts on Biden's decision with Afghanistan? Horribly executed pullout. I know some don't agree, but I think it's good that there shouldn't be conflict between humans. I'm only 19, though, so I don't know how it works. Well, it's not, Henry, it's not so much with Biden for me. It's not so much the decision to pull out of Afghanistan. I don't know if I agree with it. We'll get into that in a separate stream, because there are some things to be said about leaving those troops in there, and I'll explain why. But that's neither here nor there. I can understand somebody wanting the troops out of Afghanistan. What he did that was unconscionable is the way he went about it. You can't just pull the troops out and leave all those Americans and the American sympathizers, people that worked with the Americans. The Taliban will kill them. We know that. There's no question about it. If they were working with the Americans, they will kill them. And you just left them there as the Taliban ran roughshod over things. And he can't say he didn't know it could happen, because the moment he did it, there were people all over, even online, and experts in military. All that stuff is out there. It's time-stamped online that said, you can't do this. The Taliban's gonna come eat those people alive, and that's what happened. Willie says, why would I, a student filmmaker, need to learn physics? Yeah, that's where I am, Willie. And that physics course should be there for those who are going to go into a career or just want to learn it. But it shouldn't be a priority. It shouldn't be required curriculum. That's ridiculous to me. Okay, guys, I got to go. I actually stayed longer than I was supposed to. If you weren't here at the beginning, I apologize for this being a shorter stream. Again, I forgot my wife and daughter went on an outing. They're going to be gone overnight. So I've got to get everything I need to do done before our staff leaves today with Nene, with my stepdaughter. I've got to be here for her. So I got a bunch of stuff I got to do. Thank you for this Free for All Friday stream. These always end up so much, not only so much fun, but so interesting too. That's why I for a while, I would take and just put a suggested topic in with the Free for All Friday title. I don't do that anymore, because it always works out better to just let you guys dictate the flow. This was a lot of fun, as always. And because I'm having fun, because I have on a purple, I always wear black. I got on a purple Kilowatt shirt. This is some super fresh sticky stuff you're going to get. It's purple Kilowatt infused sticky stuff. How often does that happen? Probably anytime, I wear the shirt on a Friday, but we don't need to go there. How often does that happen? Be impressed. Here it comes. Pumpu pumpu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. Purple, Kilowatt, infused, sticky stuff for everybody. Because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, it's every color in the rainbow and every character you can imagine. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh. Ah.